Hello, welcome to another dynamic do-it-yourself video. And today we are going to repurpose not one but two previously burned down candles. I have this relatively tall, unfortunately for me, it was a single wick pillar, and that's a lot of wax there, which means there's a lot of scent left, a lot more hours of burning that can be done. And I also have this other candle. It was in a glass encasement, and this was a 3-wick. You can see there are 3 wicks in there, which in all honesty, this should have been more than just 1 wick. This should have been 2 wicks at the least, and as you see, it's the same size. Anyway, we are going to take these 2 candles, we're going to combine them and make one single 3-wick candle. So we're going to use these 2 previously used candles and some wicks that I purchased from a local craft store. Let's get started. Okay, I'm going to use just a simple bowl, and I'm going to you need to use some bowl or some container that can be put in a microwave. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to start with, I believe is the more challenging. Okay, I am going to use a simple butter knife, and I'm going to just go inside. See here, I'm going to go inside and I am cutting out, digging out the wax. Okay, and once I do that, I'm going to put it inside this bowl here. Okay, the reason why I'm doing it, some might say, well, gee, why are you going through all that work? All you need to do is just put this in the microwave and put it on a melt setting or a defrost setting to get the wax out. Sounds great, but there's one thing that does not mix. Oh, there are several things that don't mix. But in this case, with the candles, you do not want to put anything that has metal in your microwave. If you've been around a while and you know enough about this sort of thing, this is a no-brainer. This is a no-duh. But for those of you who do not know, you don't want to set your kitchen or your microwave on fire. Okay, so with this, just break off chunks, put them in the bowl. And you might be wondering, well, where's that metal coming from? Well, the metal is coming from, and I'm just going to reveal it to you right now. At the bottom of this candle, that's the base. See that there? That's the base of a wick. Okay, professional candles, they have nice sturdy bases for their wicks. And actually, this wick is glued to the bottom of this. So, as you burn your candle and you get down to the bottom, you're not going to have your wicks just moving willy-nilly as the wax gets loose. So this is what I'm trying to avoid, to put that in my microwave, because when I melt this wax, I'm basically repurposing it and giving it a brand new start. So we want to get rid of the old and start with the new. So I'm going to finish digging this out, and then we are going to look at what we're going to do with the pillar. Before we talk about what we're going to do with this pillar, I think it's very important in case you are having this same situation, so you will know exactly how to get rid of these bases for your wicks. I'm using a butter knife. You can use any type of tool that you want. And with this, you have to be very careful because this is, after all, glass. So you're going to be firm with your pressure. I am pressing down and at an angle. And as I'm doing this, you can see that this particular piece is budging. It lifted. I don't know if you can see that it's lifting. Oh, let's see, there we go, I think. Anyway, it's lifting a little bit. So get yourself a pair of pliers, or you can get some tweezers. I'm going to use my pliers first to get underneath that lip that I just lifted up. And I'm going to use that to just remove it. And as you can see at the bottom, I don't know, it's a glue. It's a type of adhesive right there. That's not wax. Okay, so this is a simple way, using simple tools that you have at home. Oops, I was a little aggressive, so that's something you don't want to do. You don't want to be that aggressive. And this time I didn't even need to use my pliers. I just used my little butter knife, and there it is. And you can see that's just adhesive. Okay, put that aside. And let's get at this last one here. Okay. From my personal experience, well, you want to call it Murphy's Law, but sometimes it seems like the last thing that you're trying to remove tends to be the most challenging. In this case, that's not the case. See? So there it is. Okay. So there are our used wick holders. Is there any use for these? I do not see anything, but if you know what to do with these, to repurpose these, that'll be great. I would love that hint. So anyway, put that aside. So now we have a clean holder here for our candle, and this is the residue from the candle itself. Now you'll notice there's some little black specks there. That's soot from the previous burning. And if it bothers you, there's a way that you can get rid of it. But right now I'm going to take this particular scent is eucalyptus mint. I'm going to put this aside for right now. And I'm going to address how to deal with the votive. Okay, I accidentally called this a votive. It's not a votive, it's a pillar. Votives are smaller. Anyway, so as you can see, this, to get rid of, let's see, I don't know if I can see, oh, there it is. Okay, to get rid of this part was very simple, because look at this. The candle burned all the way till the very bottom, as you can see. And this is a hazard of single wick candles. It just basically puts a hole right in the middle of the wax, and you only get, I don't know, maybe a third of your candle burnt, and the rest of it, what do you do with it? Throw it away? This is a lot of candle, especially if you spent, I don't know, upwards of $15. You don't want to just throw a good portion of this away. So this scent is called Eternal Jasmine. So the initial one was eucalyptus mint, and this is Eternal Jasmine. These are both scents that are easy for me to blend together. I wouldn't blend scents that are going to be so opposed to each other. Okay, because as the candle burns through, you want to get whatever scent that's in the wax at that time. And you don't want to go from a gingerbread scent to a floral scent to a woodsy scent. I think you get the idea. Anyway, this is thick. It's easy to just put in here and just melt. It'll take longer. So I advise to break this up. Now, and you probably were seeing when I was talking, I was trying to strong arm and strong hand breaking this apart, but my hand strength isn't that of a bodybuilder. So I will just simply just take this, and I will use once again my handy little butter knife, and all I'm doing is just trying to break this apart. It's wax, so you could just stick it in, turn it. Let me see, I'm making some headway here. Find an area that's kind of thin, that's a weak part. Okay, and the reason why I'm doing this again is to make it easier to melt. If you have a microwave that has a melt setting, pieces, smaller pieces are easier to deal with than a larger piece, because that will take a long time. So there we are. We're breaking it apart. I think I'll break it into 4 parts, maybe a little bit more. Now, as you saw with the first candle, there are little black specks here, which is the soot. Here I have discoloration, burn discoloration from the soot, from the burning. Okay, I don't think there's really any way that you can get rid of that. It's going to be part of your candle, so you might as well just call it call it a designer effect, you know. Say it's going to be a smoky effect to this candle. Okay, I think that's about it. I think that's about it. I don't want to spend too much time with this. Hey, look at that. Felt like a he-man, he-woman, who knows, he something. All right, that's enough of that. I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it in the microwave. I have a microwave that has a melting component to it, so I could just put it in there to melt things. If your microwave does not have it, put this on a low setting and just watch it. Do it in 30-second increments and just watch it until you get a nice liquid consistency. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, full disclosure, you might be hearing a fan in the background. That's the fan of my microwave, because to basically melt that pillar, it took a lot longer than what I'm used to, because I'm used to just melting down partially used votives and repurposing those. But in this case, you can see it's kind of chunky. My fan is on because my microwave got too hot. So when it came to the second candle, I just put that, here it is, I put that on the stove. Okay, it's starting to firm up a little bit, but that's okay. So I'm going to use my lovely little Wicks here, and I'm going to use what the manufacturers of the original candle did. I'm going to use a hot glue gun, and I'm going to put just a small little dot of glue on the bottom of each one of these. Okay, and I'm going to place them strategically, putting them strategically inside my candle holder here. Okay, all right, now I'm using my tweezers to make any type of micro adjustments I need to make. Okay, and I'm going to start with the first wax, the candle, the original wax for the original candle here. I would prefer this to be a little bit more loose, but even as it starts to solidify. It works to my advantage because I can just basically use it to help firm up the wicks. Put them on the base. Spread it in there evenly. Push off that wax. It's not pretty, but it's getting the job done. See there. And as you can see there, it's almost like basically frosting a cake, so to speak. Just layering it in there. Now if you have several candles, instead of, like in this case, I'm only using 2 because that last pillar was kind of thick there. It's pretty big, so I only use 2. But if you have several, there we go. You can make several layers of it. So I'm going to go ahead and put that away. I'm using another knife here to just sort of help even this out. Okay, now I don't want to spend too much time here because it's not trying to be pretty, because as you can see, this is starting to solidify. So I'm going to take this, and it's a little hot, so safety first. I'm going to use my oven mitts here, and I'm going to pour this on top. Look at that. I think I'm going to be a little bit careful here with the part that's already solidified, because I don't want it to smash my wicks. So now I'll just use a spoon and just spoon it in. As you can see, I already buried a couple of wicks, so when I use my very handy, there we go, there's 1, there's 2, there it is. I'll pull these up. And where's that third one? I feel it. I don't want to pull it too hard because I don't want it to completely be ripped out and have to start this whole process over again. But as you can see, it's getting the job done. I rescued, I don't know if you could tell, but I have rescued all 3 of the wicks right here. See, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now in the previous video, I have used foil to hold up those wicks. Foil is a really great tool to use. But right, and for this one, because this is such a larger candle, and this is a larger glass container for it. I'm just going to let the wax melt. I'm just going to keep my eye on these wicks. Make sure they don't go anywhere. They don't get melted into the candle itself. Now, as your wax solidifies, as it's doing right now, you could do all those things. Oh, there it goes. I think my fan just went off. So that makes things so much better. There we go. So anyway, as I was saying, as the wax starts to melt, you can do a lot more maintenance of your candle. And it doesn't matter how liquid this is, you want it to be at least at the very minimum soft, so you can play around with it. Make your candle the way you want to make your candle. Oops, there we go. All right, I think that should be enough. Cleanup should not be a problem. You can either put this in a microwave and hit it for a little bit of time so the wax can melt. You could put it in a warm oven. Put this out of the way here. You could do all sorts of things in order to get this wax to melt so you can clean your utensils. So, as you can see, I'm smoothing it out. Oops, gotta rescue that one. Tweezers are your best friend in this case, because not only is this wax hot, it's uncomfortable, and these tweezers can basically do what you don't want your fingers to end up doing, go into the hot wax. Unless you're into that kind of thing. Some people like that. I'm not one who likes to get burnt with wax. Not fun. So pretty much this is it. And to tell you the truth, there's so much more space in here. In this, if you take a look at that. There's so much. I actually can find another candle that I have. For example, this one. This one's called Leaves. And as you can see, that's a lot of wax there. I can melt this, add it on top. I could keep on going till I get to the level that I want. But in the end, look at that. For the cost of just some wax, Wicks. I think I picked these up at Michael's. I've just made another long-lasting candle that will probably burn for another 20 hours. If I add more wax to it, bring it up to a nice level, I can just keep using this and enjoying it. So it's warm now. My hands are on it. It's warm, but not uncomfortably warm. So anyway, so that's it. I just repurposed 2 candles. And you know what? I think I might just look for another one. Maybe not this one, because I don't want to do the color. I don't want the color to mix right now, and that's something you can do. But I'm going to look for another candle so I can melt it and put it on top of this. So anyway, if you like what you saw, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button down below. If you have any questions or concerns about what I did, leave some comments, okay? And if you want to see more videos like this and you eager to see what comes next, hit that notification button. And more of this kind of content will be sent right away to you as soon as I upload it. Okay, so anyway, until next time.